Psycho Pass Season 1 is the perfect anime. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is the best anime, nor does it mean it's my favorite anime. Is Psycho Pass Season 1 in my top 10 anime? Yes, but it doesn't make my top 3. But for some reason, I would still consider it the perfect anime. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, I will only be talking about Season 1 since it can stand alone as its own thing from the rest of Psycho Pass. Season 1 is the only part of the anime that I would consider perfect, but in all, Psycho Pass still is a great series. Go watch it if you haven't yet, cause what are you doing? Now before I dive headfirst into a topic that could cause a lot of hate towards me. You're wrong. The perfect anime is Dragon Ball? Yeah, dragging these balls across. But before that, I need to answer what it means for an anime of all things to be considered perfect. I mean, the fanbase is definitely not perfect with the lack of deodorant, the greasy hair, and with blowing every paycheck on Genshin Impact. Fuck! It's very hard to pin down the qualities that make an anime perfect. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Exposition. Exposition, for all of you watching, is that awkward scene in anime where a character explains how something works in the world they live. In some anime such as Naruto, it can be kinda awkward when a character uses an ability, then fully explains how it works to their opponents, just for the audience to understand. In Psycho Pass, this exposition fits right in, since everything that is explained is being explained to the new recruit, Akane, which makes perfect sense for them to be explaining it to her. This really doesn't contribute that much to making the anime perfect, but it's something Psycho Pass does better than most anime, so I thought I should highlight it first. Fighting in anime sometimes falls behind due to studios being low budget, causing fight scenes to be copied directly from their manga counterparts, making the fight feel like what flipping through pages would feel visually. Psycho Pass has really well done fight choreography. The fights feel realistic, which is more immersive for viewers since they can actually see this world being a possibility, making them more connected to characters throughout the story. Once again, I cannot stress how good these fight scenes are. I mean, look at this! If this fight scene seems familiar, well, it might be due to the fact that the fight choreographer for Psycho Pass also did the fight choreography for Cowboy Bebop. I mean, look at these characters. They look almost the same. Jokes aside, Psycho Pass fighting is actually really realistic when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, making it more interesting and engaging for the audience since it's more visually appealing than a guy screaming for 20 minutes only to throw one punch and win the fight. Now for the main point, the main thing that makes Psycho Pass better than almost every other anime. Psycho Pass has great pacing. It never slows down, nor does it speed up. Every time something big happens, there's downtime between the major plot points. In this downtime, Psycho Pass fills it with important foreshadowing, as well as great character bonding moments, getting the audience more attached to the characters with every episode. The show in its entirety is one neatly strung together story with no plot holes or filler of any kind. The show starts off by throwing you into this messed up and brutal world, introducing two people with different ideologies right from the get-go. Then it builds relationships and gets you attached to the characters, slowly foreshadowing events and leading the audience up to the first big event, only to speed up again, leading to the big fight, the introduction of two characters who hate each other. A scene that is shown in the intro for every episode to only exceed its introduction counterpart. This is truly the climax. Or so the audience is led to believe. More plot and an earlier foreshadowing takes effect as the story slowly starts to descend towards the resolution. It starts to plane out. Right as the audience thinks there is about to be a resolution of the story, it ramps back up. This wasn't the resolution. It was actually a way to show the audience just how strong each character's ideologies are and what they truly mean. The plot starts building up, exceeding the previous climax, and all plot points get answered. No holes to fill, nothing to introduce. Finally, the yin and the yang, the two sides of the same coin, the two ideologies that have been shown to the audience up to this point, face each other. And well, justice prevails. Of course, is this true justice? Psycho Pass introduces so many ideologies about its theme, which is, what's the cost of living without fear of crime? After seeing these ideologies, it leaves an open answer to the audience. What is true justice, and is crime necessary? Well, leaving it for the viewer to decide. They come up with their own form of belief after watching the show, which makes the show resonate more deeply with all viewers. This allows Psycho-Pass to resonate with all viewers, which is something most anime struggles with. Now, I talked about it before, but Psycho-Pass exceeds a lot of other anime in its character development. Its main theme is shown well throughout the story, with 3 big ideologies sticking out. Makishima is a nihilist, believing human existence is pointless. The Sibyl system, believing all human nature is predictable. And Kogami, who lies outside both, not caring what's best for society. Kogami believes in his own form of justice, fueled by revenge for his partner, believing he is the only one who can bring Makishima to quote-unquote justice. All 3 of these characters' ideologies don't develop, nor do they change throughout the entire story. Psycho-Pass is unique in that it only really has one character develop throughout its story, Akane. Akane's ideology isn't really formed at all in the beginning. She doesn't know what to believe at first. Throughout Psycho-Pass, you see her questioning why anything around her happens. She knows that most of the actions Makishima, Kogami, and the Sibyl system do are wrong, but she knows that she can't fully get rid of them. She accepts what's happening around her since she can't do anything on her own due to the current state of Japan. After Makishima and Kogami fight for the first time, Akane finally understands how she feels. Akane believes in morality. She would rather do what is morally right, not caring about the actions that are done for the greater good. Later on, she tries to take her ideology and use it at the climax of Psycho-Pass, only to fail. But in the resolution of Psycho-Pass, you see her accept the state of her world, but still actively trying to achieve her ideology. The show highlights Akane going from someone who is living without thought, trying to accept the world for what it is, like Makishima said, to someone who has their own strong beliefs and wants to put them into practice, which is how she changed her mind seeing Kogami. Usually a change like this wouldn't be that big in another anime, but because Psycho-Pass uses all 22 episodes to highlight Akane's growth, what is usually seen as a simple change for a character is now a huge development for viewers. Due to the show only really focusing on the growth of its main character, the audience gets a deeper level of understanding about the character they're watching grow, which would most likely be glossed over in most other anime, only to get straight to the action. Psycho-Pass is a perfect balance of everything good in anime. It has great, well put together fight scenes that feel realistic. It has foreshadowing that doesn't give away that much, but majorly comes into effect later on. The show also highlights its characters, well, showing how strong their ideologies mean to them. Psycho-Pass doesn't skip the slow talking parts to get to the fight scenes that most other anime do. These slow scenes are what gets the audience attached to the characters more, but it uses just the right amount of them to not get its viewers bored. The reason Psycho-Pass is perfect is because it has the right amount of everything and it does it well. Psycho-Pass isn't the best anime, but it's what I would consider perfect. Other anime are better in your eyes, and that's fine, because that anime is perfect to you, even if it has a couple of dumb scenes.
The moon?
God damn it! Regardless, you see it as the best, and it doesn't matter how bad it actually is, because it's yours, and you should be proud of that. It's what resonates with you the most. I described why Psycho-Pass is the perfect anime, but I just talked about its structure and how it did everything well. Being perfect and being the best are 2 entirely different things. In my opinion, on paper, Psycho-Pass is the perfect anime. When I say that Psycho-Pass is the perfect anime, I don't mean it's the best, nor do I mean that there's other anime you can regard as perfect. Psycho-Pass is the best anime on paper, but the perfect and best anime is out there, waiting for all of us to discover. So with that, I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and happy watchings, my friends.